Vamos falar de champanhe? Bom, quando a gente fala de champanhe, você deve pensar que é alguma coisa cara, inacessível, que é impossível de você comprar. Não é bem assim. Existe um champanhe aqui no Brasil que chama Vollereaux, está escrito aqui atrás, que é importado pela Chez France e tem um custo muito bacana, super acessível e bem legal, bem gostoso de beber. E o Julien, que é o responsável pela exportação, esteve aqui no Brasil, conversei com ele, provei os champanhes, gravamos lá num lugar muito bacana, muito melhor do que eu provar os champanhes aqui e falar, foi ele contar pra gente. Tá em inglês, mas eu acho que vai dar pra entender porque ele fala devagarinho, então vamos ver aí o que ele tem pra mostrar pra gente. Foram 3 champanhes que a gente provou, desculpa, 2 champanhes que a gente provou, muito legais, e depois eu volto pra falar um pouquinho sobre a minha impressão sobre tudo isso. Vamos lá, vamos ver. Well, can you tell us a little bit about Vollereaux?
Well, Vollereaux is a family champagne winery based in a village called Pierry, which is right outside of Épernay. Épernay is the capital of Champagne. It's an hour and a half east of Paris, in France, of course. It's a family winery that owns 42 hectares, which represents a production of almost 500,000 bottles, 500,000. It's the 6th generation now producing the wines. And it's an independent winery, which means that we produce our champagnes with the family grapes. Let's say we plant the vines ourselves, we try to sell our champagnes ourselves, and what's in between, we have a complete control of the quality and the making process. The first bottle of Vollereaux was made in 1923, but the family owns vines since 1806. And as I said, Franck Vollereaux is now the 6th generation producing the champagne.
Well, so you said you have like 500,000 bottles per year. Mm-hmm. It's quite big, I would say.
It's we usually say in France at the winery that we are a big small house and a small big house. Really, there are not a lot of wineries in Champagne that have this production, especially in independent wineries. It's very rare, just a few. And we have what's great about us, it's our independence, the background we have, historical background, family background, and we have also on the other side the possibility to export our champagnes to make our brand a little bit more well known.
Good. And I see that you have some new champagnes here for us in Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Chez France is our importer and distributor here in Brazil, and for a few months now they have a new product. First, the special edition Brut Réserve. It's a product that Chez France already had before, but we decided to make like a special edition for the World Cup, with a sleeve white bottles, a new presentation. The product is the same, still a blend of the 3 grapes, traditional blend of Pinot Meunier, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. The new product, and the great new product I want to say, is the Cuvée Margaret. It's our prestige bottle. It's the prestige bottle of the Maison Vollereaux. It's a blend of 75% Chardonnay, 25% Pinot Noir, vintage, Safrado, 2007. It's a champagne that we make only when we have the great years, great quality. So we don't make it every year. The previous vintage was 2004, now it's 2007. And it's just a great champagne. We won so many awards for it lately. It's really a great champagne. And also,
just a question: who was Marguerite?
Oh, Margaret Margaret was the 4th generation. She's Franck Vollereaux's the actual winemaker. She's his grandmother, and we made this champagne in her honor to celebrate Marguerite Vollereaux, because she took care of the winery during the Second World War. When the men were at war, she actually took care of the production and also the business, and she really made what the Vollereaux winery is today. So she was very, very important for the winery.
Good. And I see you have a big bottle.
Yes, we decided to introduce really a celebration bottle. It's the Brut Reserve, which is the same than the classic and traditional blend, in a magnum format. So 2 bottles, 1.5 liters. Easier to keep if you want to keep it for a long time in your cellar. Much easier in a magnum, and really a celebration with during a party with 4, 5, 10 people. It's great to open a magnum of champagne. Vollereaux.
And we were discussing before about the style of Vollereaux, and you were saying that you have a quite easy drinking way of making champagne, right?
Yes, it's really our position in every market, I want to say, is that we are really a great alternative to the bigger brands. We are focused on the consumer and focused on, it's really the champagne, let's say, for the people, because the style of our champagnes are, as you said, very easy drinking. They each have their own character, personality, but they are all within the same style of the Vollereaux winery. It's really the fineness and the freshness and the easy drinking part. So even if you don't really know a champagne or don't have the possibility or the opportunity to taste different champagnes, this one is really great to have. At home, we like the Brut Reserve. We call it the early in the morning, late at night champagne. It resumes very well the style. Really easy drinking, fresh, just about pleasure. Really, it's the style of our champagne. It's really about pleasure. It's drinking champagne and having pleasure. Right.
Perfect. So we are gonna taste it?
Sure.
Perfect. Let's do it. We were about to start our tasting, but you came with this stuff that I didn't know there before. What is that?
Little our gadget, but very useful. It's what we call a quick fresh. It's something that you put in the freezer. You keep it in the freezer, and there is a special gel inside. And even if you take the bottles out from the cellars, so not cold, you can put it in that quick fresh, and the champagne will be at the right temperature in less than 10 minutes.
Perfect.
Very useful.
Now we are tasting the first one, that is?
There is the special edition Brut Reserve. It's a special edition with a special packaging, but it's the same blend than what Chez France had before. It's the flagship of the Vollereaux winery. It's the biggest production, it's the best seller of the winery, and it's a classic blend of 1/3 of Pinot Meunier, 1/3 of Pinot Noir, and 1/3 of Chardonnay. We've also 3 years of harvest blended, mixed. That's what we do in Champagne to have a consistency, to keep the same style and same taste and same quality every year. It's the Vollereaux family favorite champagne. It's really the one that represents very well the style of our winery. It's as I said, the freshness, lightness. It's a very light champagne, very fresh, some citrus aromas, very easy drinking, a lot of fineness. It's a very good champagne for aperitif, for celebration. For also, if you want to go on a meal, it's quite easy to pair with different food, or to spend the whole night drinking champagne. It's the perfect one. You will never get tired of it.
Good. So now we have the second one. That is?
The second one is the Prestige bottle and champagne of the Vollereaux winery. It's Cuvée Margaret, vintage 2007. It's a blend of 75% Chardonnay, 25% Pinot Noir. We don't make it every year, only when the quality of the grapes are very, very, very good and exceptional. To give you an example, this is 2007 vintage. The last one was 2004, so we really don't make it every year.
What is the next one?
The next one will be 2008.
Okay.
It was good. And it goes also through a very strict selection of the best grapes that we get during harvest. If I usually say that if I have to say only one word about this champagne, I would say Elegance. It's a really, really elegant champagne with a lot of finesse, still within the style of the Vollereaux champagnes, freshness and purity, cleanness and easy drinking, but with much more expression, much more character, with the expression of almost 7 years of aging time on lees in our cellars. It's 92 points for Spectator. It's also, we just got a gold medal in London, a gold medal in Breuzon as well. So really a great champagne, a great champagne of celebration, a beautiful champagne to put on a table, family lunch, dinner. Yeah. It gets this expression of with the majority of Chardonnay that we have, and all our champagnes go through it's a bit more technical, but goes through the malolactic fermentation. Sure. So it gives much more maturity to the champagne. And we get this kind of buttery, creamy taste that's really, really soft, and with a very, very long aftertaste. Really amazing champagne. It's pleasure by excellence.
And the blend will be always the same, or?
The blend is almost the same. It's usually the blend of all the prestige bottles that you can find. Majority of Chardonnay, which is important because the Chardonnay brings acidity to the champagne, and the acidity makes your wine, let's say, keepable in time. The maturation is much slower with the acidity of the Chardonnay compared to if you have a bottle with a lot of Pinot Noir, which gets to maturation very quickly.
Sure.
So as we wanted to keep this freshness and the lightness that characterized our winery and our champagnes, we needed that majority of Chardonnay, and most of the Cuvée Margaret that we produce have this majority of Chardonnay.
And for example, this 2007, for how long do you think we can keep it?
For me, the champagne right now is just perfect. Then if you are looking for something a bit more expressive with a little bit of good oxidation, easily you can keep it 5 more years. Okay. And then it's the choice of the consumer to keep it 10 years if he wants, but then you need to be aware that the champagne is going to change, and you won't get the same freshness, lightness than you had if you taste it now. It's different. Champagne is not it's not like red wine that you can keep for 20 years, and sure. It doesn't really get better. It's changing, but it doesn't really get better. And when we put a champagne on the market, it already had at least minimum 3 years of aging in our cellars. For this one, it's almost 7 years. We think that it's already good to be consumed right away.
E aí, gostou? Deu para entender? Bom, como você deve ter visto, é um champanhe fácil, é o que ele diz, é um champanhe ele diz que é pro dia a dia, é pra gente tomar em todos os tipos de refeição, da manhã até a noite, mas infelizmente não dá pra gente fazer isso aqui no Brasil. Apesar de que, como eu disse, o preço desses champanhes não são tão altos como outros que a gente vê por aí, mas de qualquer forma é um preço alto. Mas assim, o que eu acho legal do Vollereaux é que realmente é fácil, ele tem a complexidade de champanhe, aquela coisa que a gente espera que tenha, mas não é aquela coisa super complexa, aquela coisa que você precisa fazer 10 cursos para poder entender e poder provar e estar à altura do champanhe ou qualquer tipo de coisa assim. É um champanhe muito interessante que vale a pena você conhecer. Então, espero que você possa ter essa oportunidade. Depois me conta se gostou realmente, se estava desse jeito que a gente falou, que eu falei, que o Julien falou. Tá bom? Então até a próxima. Tchau.